So just tell us what we need to do and we'll do it.
I think Checkers is switching to streams right now.
Sounds good.
And for the hired units, do you want to cut those off at the start of the run just to have it out of the way, or do you want to, I mean, do you have time?
Yeah, there's about like 10-15 minutes until you actually have to cut it off, so you can keep it going for a little bit longer.
Okay, so we'll just cut off Ram's name at the start, and then people can still try to win a hired unit.
Mm-hmm.
Almost at 4,000 viewers.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's been really impressive all weekend. I think we've been around 3,000 for most games.
We should begin.
Cool.
Sorry, I had my audio muted on this computer. We're good.
Alright, audio's good, stream's good, everything's ready?
Yeah, man. Whenever you're ready, feel free to give me a countdown.
One quick
Go
second.
ahead. Sure.
Sure.
We do have some final donations here. $50 from Chess Jerk, who says, I will not be denied. 50 more for Chess Jerk. Good luck to Claude. And $10 from I to the C to the E, who says Claude is the most entertaining person on Twitch.
I don't know about that.
I agree.
I mean, the donation comment said it, so it
Yeah,
must
I mean,
be true, right?
Must be.
I mean, they said that I want to save the animals, so...
Who would just do that? Go on the internet and tell lies? No one.
Okay, so with that in mind, I guess Ramza's name is decided.
Alright.
And it is I Heart D-Boom.
I Heart D-Boom, alright.
And I don't know if you guys heard us on the stream or not because we were switching over, but for the hired units, you guys still have time to donate for those. We'll take donations for those up until the point where they get named. We also have a $14.98 donation from Urson who says OCD for FF Tactics hired unit.
Alright, cool. Well, if there's nothing else, then I'm ready.
I think we're good.
Because this is a Japanese run, this is going to begin in true JRTA timing fashion from power on to the end. So just count me down and I'll hit the power button.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, this is Final Fantasy Tactics. My name is Claude, and with me we have...
Almagoose. What's up, guys?
And I'm going to be playing a Final Fantasy game for the next 5 hours. But don't turn off the stream. Don't turn off the stream yet, because this is not your ordinary Final Fantasy game. This is FFT. In my opinion, the greatest game ever made on planet Earth.
It's close. It's close.
In fact, it's so complicated, I don't even know how to play it. So I'm going to go into the tutorial real fast.
You better do that, check it out.
Yeah. Alright, I got it. I know how to play the game now. Easy.
Alright,
easy.
cool. Alright, we're set?
Alright, and the hired name is, in fact... well, the name for the hero. I... Heart... capital D, capital B... O-U... M.
How sweet.
I Heart D-Boom. Yep, that's right. There's a cutscene here, but we're going to skip it. There's only like 2 skippable cutscenes in the entire game. One's at the very beginning of the game, one's at the very end of the game. So the game begins here at Orbonne Monastery. If you ever actually have watched an FFT run, odds are you probably watched this section because it feels like I'm always in Orbonne, just always sitting here in Orbonne, watching Ophelia pray, while Agrius is telling her that it's time to go. I'll probably be giving a little bit of background on the story and whatnot. But all we know right now is that Ophelia, the princess, is praying here in this chapel, and there are three units with her of great importance. There's Ramza, who appears to be working for a mercenary company, Gafgarion, who is the head of the mercenary company, and Agrius Oaks, who is charged with protecting the princess. And Final Fantasy Tactics, it truly is the greatest speed game ever made, because this battle is essentially like a tutorial battle. It teaches you how to play the game, and you can only control one unit in this battle, which is Ramza, or in this case, I Heart D-Boom. Every other character on the field, those on your side, those on the enemy side, are completely controlled by the AI, and the AI is not very good. So you have very little control over how this battle really goes.
Yeah, most of the time you're gonna get like a not favorable outcome time-wise in this battle. Like, that's the reason you reset a lot here in actual attempts.
So the very first bit of RNG in the game is, does Gafgarion go left or does he go right? That actually makes a huge difference, because if he goes left, then Gafgarion and Agrius can combine their damage to take out the leftmost archer. But of course he went right. Alright, and there I just had to adjust all the options to make everything super fast. That menu right there is probably like one of the hardest menus in the game, because the cursor speed is different, because you adjust the cursor speed in that menu.
Of course he went right. One thing to note is that the camera rotates in every battle when units take actions.
This is
And
pretty great start.
Yeah, Claude is trying with his camera rotations to waste as few time as possible by adjusting it so he can, he's trying to predict where the camera would move, and while units move, he's trying to adjust the camera so it doesn't waste time while they're taking actions or anything like that.
It's also worth mentioning that it's always faster to zoom out the camera by hitting L2 on your controller, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it spends like less time auto moving to the next units, because it can see more of the field. Well, there's one unit dead. That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, you don't want enemy units to have item. The chemist that is on the enemy side always has item, obviously, because that's his skill set, but all other units can have item, but you don't want them to, because they can heal each other then, obviously. That will waste a lot of time if they do.
Pretty much the main strategy for this battle is just try and attack a unit who you know will be killed before that unit actually takes its turn. And usually Agrius or Gafgarion are smart enough to attack the unit that you injured, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning that the official name of the category I'm running is any percent no math skill J. There's quite a bit of differences between the Japanese and North American versions of this game, so for the purposes of speedrunning, there's separate categories. And no math refers to beating the game without the use of math skill, which allows you to instantly kill all the enemies from across the screen with 0 MP and like 0 challenge. So we just ban that and the run becomes a lot better.
Well, there's a lot more diversity, let's put it like that.
Yeah. Wow, nice critical.
I like how the chat is spamming no math.
It's a good thing to spam, man. So as usual, Leslos is going to be the last unit to get taken down here. He's going on a pleasure cruise, heading towards the left-hand side of the map. And of course, Rat has high potions, so he's just going to heal up instead of, you know, moving to attack the last enemy on the field. Because you need that healing. You need that healing.
Oh man, high potion. That's rare.
Oh. Nice. Getting a little bit used to... there's like slight audio delay on this setup, so I'll take a little bit used to getting used to these menus, I guess, but...
Nice frame though. Good guard.
Leslos is invincible, man.
He is, he really is. He has like what, 28% from the side, right?
It's something like that. He can have more if he has weapon guard.
Oh yeah, right. And he has back comp to Agris, nice.
He is invincible, dude. He cannot be stopped.
Good start, good start. So yeah, usually we would have reset here right now already,
Yeah.
like for a minute ago probably.
For reference, I have splits going during this run just for fun. I'm already at like plus 2 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there's nothing you can do at all. Is he gonna dodge this one? Of course! Of course.
This is how I imagined this going.
Same.
This is amazing.
Agris did twice as much damage to me as she did to the enemy.
Nice. Perfect start.
Perfect start. Casual plus 220 on my splits. Alright, we got this. Well, while we did all that, the princess got kidnapped, probably because we took so long.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god, Cruiser. Cruiser, I'm watching the chat, dude. I will not tolerate your bull honky. And it turns out Ramza recognizes the person who kidnapped the princess, and that reminds him of his childhood. So we're gonna go back 1 year to when Ramza was just when I Heart Dream Boom was just a cadet at Garland Magic City.
It's just like that one song.
Yeah, I don't know what song you're talking about though. So this cutscene, this is a very famous cutscene if you played the North American version of the game, because the text scrolls very, very, very slowly. The infamous phrase that everyone remembers from this cutscene is "little money," spelled out one character at a time. But we're playing on the glorious Japanese version, and that text just flies by. It was only slowed down for the North American release, and I have no idea why. But here, we're like already almost done with the cutscene.
It's probably lazy coding.
Probably. This game had a very questionable like localization, translation, and whatnot. But that's what makes it so great.
I agree. I really enjoyed the first time I played it. I enjoyed the dialogue and the translations.
A lot of people say this game has a good story. I definitely enjoy it as well. But I mean, the reason I've been able to play this game for so long is because the gameplay is amazing. But really, this game is just the full package. Good story, good music, good gameplay. It really is the ultimate video game.
It's up there.
No, it's the best. Undisputed.
Well, I know you would say that. How long have you been playing FFT?
Since the day it came out.
Since
I
the
think it's
day
like
it came out?
17 at this point. Whenever it was first
Wow.
released, I was like 8 years old.
It's
Even
amazing.
then, even back then when I was like 8 years old, I was like, dude, this is the best game ever. Now, like, all these years later, I'm like 25, I think. Still the best game ever. Save before Garland, just in case. You never know how it can go. You never know how it can go.
Are you really saving for Garland?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Nice, 49 Faith Chemist. So, a big part
Oh.
of the randomness here is that you want a really good female chemist in this fight, because you're going to use that female chemist for the next battle at Mandalia Plains, and you're going to unlock Wizard on this chemist for the next fight, because it makes the next fight much faster. And faith values can range from 45 to 74, You want like 74 because that allows you to do more magic damage. Because you do more magic damage, the more faith you have. And 49 is pretty terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason he wants the female chemist is female characters start with one more magic attack point than male characters do, and you only get one chemist, and he wants the wizard class to unlock the wizard class on her, which you do by leveling up the chemist job class.
Also, I'm going to ask that we cut off donations as soon as I end this fight, because then I'm going to go into the menu to hire the generics and whatnot. So as soon as you see like the congrats screen after this battle, that's when you cut it off.
Okay. Yeah, just a reminder again to everybody watching, you have some time to sneak in some donations for the hired units if you want to try to snipe one quickly or add to one that's already out there.
Let me check.
We did get a donation of $10, by the way, from Mecha Pope, who says, "Hey Claude, I promised I'd donate, so here goes. Also, you should ask your new sponsor Walmart to help you get into HDQ 2015.
Walmart loves me, man. This is actually a very unusual formation here. I'm going to try something new, which is attack the squire with a female chemist. If this guy has throw stone, which he doesn't, that definitely could have worked out in my favor. Oh, but Delete is actually being smart for once, and he's killing him. That's actually really good. The front squire is dead immediately. One of the differences between the North American and Japanese versions of this game is that Delita is actually a little bit weaker in the Japanese version. He has one less physical attack statistic, or PA. So it's hard to kill the units in this fight. But I got kinda lucky and he's already down.
Nice.
Also, this is probably one of the hardest battles in the run, because you don't have access to anything like immediately, like really overpowered.
Yeah, you kinda get thrown into this.
Oh. I see. Actually, I'm gonna wait here.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, the goal is pretty much to get the female chemist to have the wizard class unlocked. Everything else is just finish the battle as fast as possible. You kind of want to have like around 180 job points on Ramza after this battle. But other than that, you just want to kill the enemies as fast as possible, which can be difficult.
I'm actually getting... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, can we just talk about that a little bit, maybe for players who, or viewers who are unfamiliar with tactics? Do you want to explain just kind of some of the basic mechanics, like op points or something, you know, just give them a better idea of, you know, what's going on in every battle?
Sure, I'll leave that to Elmagoose, because this battle is pretty intense, so go ahead.
Okay.
Well, yeah, well, in FF Tactics, you start with two basic job classes, which is Squire, which is basically the combat job class that you start with the basic one, and Chemist, which is basically the basic magic job class. At the start of the game, this is actually the first real battle. You get, Ramza starts as a squire, always, and you have 2 male squires, 2 female squires in your team, 1 male chemist and 1 female chemist. Now the way it works is, every time you take an action, and it was successful, you'll get experience and job points. The way it works, you can unlock other job classes by reaching a certain amount of job points on a unit. So for every action at the start on level 1, you get 10 job points. You will have to reach 200 to reach 2 in the Japanese version, is that correct? Or is it 250?
Yes, it's still 200.
It's still 200, because there are differences between the Japanese and the English version in regard to that, but anyways, yeah, you reach 200, you gain the job level, and that unlocks other classes. Like for Squire, for instance, if you reach job level 2, you unlock Knight and Archer, which are rarely used in this route, but they have their uses. And for Chemist, which is more important, if you reach job level 2, you unlock Wizard and Priest, which are more useful to your in the speedrun. So yeah, the basic goal is take a lot of actions with Chemist in this battle to reach Wizard 2 as soon as possible, and yeah.
Alright, we have everything we need and the battle is done, so you have to cut off names.
Alright, I'll do one final refresh here and see if we got any last-minute donations, and we did. We got some pretty generous ones. $200 from Little Money, who said, hired unit ever hate.
Oh no.
Wow.
And
This
then
run is doomed.
Let's see. We also got $500 from Anonymous. Hashtag stand with Ramza. Let's show how much money this game can raise in a marathon. Save money, live better, Walmart. And $20 from Violently Car, who says stand with iHeartDboom. So when we add it all up, our top 3 hired units are Walmart with a heart between Wall and Mart at $619. We also have Everhate with $200. And Chest Jerk with $100. And Chest Jerk is spelled without the E in jerk.
Alright, got it. Sounds good.
Thanks
Alright,
everybody for donating for those.
So right now I am looking for a very specific unit for my first generic. I'm looking for a 64 faith or higher female Taurus. I need that specific setup because, well, number one, you want high faith on a unit because high faith means more magic damage, as explained earlier. And I want Taurus because it's just a favorable zodiac sign for the run. If you want to explain zodiac compatibility on Magoose, feel free while I do this.
Alright, well, the way it works in FFE, like, it works like in real life. We all have a sign that, in real life, and so do these characters, but they are called zodiac signs. The way it works is, like, certain zodiac signs have, they're compatible in a way. Like, let's take Capricorn, that Ramza is in this route. He has good compatibility to other zodiac signs and best compatibility to Cancer, for example. The way it works is if you have best compatibility to a zodiac sign, there's one out there you have to. You will deal 50% more damage, or I guess I should say 150%. Hold on.
I'm getting the Tauruses, not getting the faith. Maybe I should have rolled with the 63 I saw at the beginning. That's okay. I'd rather get a good unit here because make the rest of the run a little bit easier.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, like I said, if you have good compatibility or best compatibility, it's like you have a 20%, 5% higher damage range, and you have a better chance to hit buffs or debuffs on that unit if you target them with those. The same way it works if they have bad compatibility. It's like 25% less or 50% less. So what he's doing here, he's trying to get a Taurus for a character later that we're going to recruit later, so that the buffs we can cast on him will hit at a higher percent rate than it would if you only had, like, let's say, normal compatibility or neutral.
Finally got her.
Also notable is that you can only get best compatibility to units that are of the opposite gender, and only worst compatibility that units of the same gender in this game. So let's say you have a male Capricorn like Ramza, he will have best compatibility to a female Cancer, but worst compatibility to a male Cancer. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. I lost my train of thought in that. I hope that was understandable.
Sounded good to me, man. Alright, fortunately the requirements for the second generic are much more lenient. Actually, not going to take her, just because of one battle at the end, because it'll be easy to get another one. Hopefully. Alright, yeah. So first one was named Walmart, this one will be named Everhate.
By the way, for reference, he's taking very long right here, but usually you want to take, like, what, 2 minutes at most?
Yeah.
Right here?
Even 2 minutes is killing it.
Yeah, he got, like, really bad luck with the units right there. Especially in this, like, the only thing you want the first generic to be a Taurus, like I said, for best compatibility later. But the others can be, like, what, 8 different zodiac signs, but only have to have high faith. Pretty much.
While you're still setting up here too, we did get more donations. $30.64 from RJA0ZCOQ96. who says hashtag stand with Ramza, even if Ramza is a generic female. Also, don't forget to donate, follow, and subscribe to twitch.tv/dreamboom.
Agree.
Agree. Alright, a little bit of menuing here, then we can get this show on the road. Pretty good luck on these generics, JP at least.
Oh yeah, I guess you're scrolling JP. I guess I should explain that as well. What he's doing right here, so every job class in this game has a certain amount of abilities in them. That is not really anything special, but some classes have so much abilities in their skill set that you can scroll up and down in the list. And actually, there's a little glitch in this game that lets you get infinite job points on the class if you can do that. It's called the JP scroll glitch. The way it works is you need need to get on an ability that you can learn, and then you hold the square button, and while you're about to learn the ability, you scroll up onto an ability that is that you normally couldn't learn, and then you confirm the action. So the game will technically, I guess, underflow your job points, and you can like learn everything at once in the list, which is very, very useful for a speedrun. You have to keep in mind though that this does not work every time if you do it from every position. There are like specific position underflows, I guess, that you have to pay attention to in order for it to work, but it's very hard to explain that all in detail. We'll just go with what I said right now.
Yeah, the shorter version of it is you're getting all kinds of strong abilities very early on.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
It doesn't help that scrolling is different between the North American and Japanese versions as well. That's probably like the biggest change versions is that to scroll every class, the underflow is different. You have to underflow onto different abilities. Oh, and after our battle against the cadets at Garland, we have yet another flashback, which is in the middle of another flashback, where we learn that Ramza's father is dying because, you know, he's old. It happens. And all his siblings are here with him, by the names of Zalbag, Dysadarg, and his sister Alma. Ramza's sister Alma. I heart G-Boom's sister Alma.
Oh, and I guess I should mention, if anybody has a question about the game, you can ask in chat. I'll try to give it to Claude.
Yeah, and I'm trying to play the role of the dummy here too, just to help out. I'm trying to take what you guys say, and if I think that there might be some cause for explanation, I'll try to dive into that too.
Yeah.
Alright, so we go pretty much from the most random battle in the game in Orbonne to one of the hardest battles in Garland to yet another very difficult battle in Mandalia Plains, especially because I only have a 49 Faith Wizard, which means I'm going to have a lot of trouble actually killing these units. Ideally, if you come in with like a 74 Faith Wizard, you can one-shot anyone on the field, and it's no trouble at all. With 49, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, so he has to kind of hope to not get bad compatibility on the enemy units here right now because his faith is so low.
And I have to hope that the enemies also have high faith as well.
Oh yeah, true.
And at the beginning of this battle, we were given an option to either save this mysterious man or not save him. We're going to choose not to save him because it's a lot easier. Both to set up the grind battle, well, the grinding in this battle, and also because it boosts our brave for some reason. That doesn't really matter for the purposes of this run, but it's kind of nice. And brave is a statistic that influences your barehanded damage, your damage with knight swords, damage with katanas, how often your reaction abilities go off, and a few other things.
Yeah, brave is actually not that important for a speedrun, except a few cases, I guess. And even then, it's not really a big factor, I would say. But I got a question for you. Could you theoretically do this battle with saving August?
Yeah, you could, but it'd be very difficult. What you would do is you would move Ramza to a different spot because for some reason Ramza's position in this battle influences where Algus moves towards. Earlier I moved Ramza exactly 3 squares forward, which caused Algus to move into the enemies. If I had moved him pretty much anywhere else, Algus wouldn't have moved there.
Alright.
So one question that I think some people might have, I'm just trying to, again, play the role of the dummy, I guess, but can you explain maybe why you're attacking Delita?
Oh yeah, well, you know, Delita, he seems like a cool guy. He's been our friend since we can last remember, but the problem is he's slow. And even though he's on our side, it's much slower to watch the AI take turns than it is for you to take your own turns. And you can't really turn Delita into anything that would actually be useful for a fight. So we're just going to try and beat him up as fast as possible. Delita was actually stronger than I anticipated there and did not go down when he was supposed to. This is kind
Take
of
a level up.
weird formation, but I do want Algus dead. It's bolt 1. I have to use bolt 2.
Yeah, that's the problem with the wizard right now. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't have line of sight. But I have ether on this. On chest jerk. That's good.
Yes. So what happened there is, if he would have like had 3 more faith on his wizard, he could have killed the unit with bolt 1. And now he has to use bolt 2, but doesn't have the MP. Luckily, since he charges the spell, he can refill his MP before the charge time wears off, and the spell still goes off if you have enough MP.
Okay,
So, yeah.
the thief didn't have charm. That's a huge concern in this run, is if the thief has charm. That happened to me in one of my practice runs, and it was not pleasant.
Yeah, thieves tend to do that in speedruns. Charm characters and screw you over.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in every category too.
So what I'm going to try and do here is I'm going to try and kill all the generic humans and leave the cat alive, because the cat is the slowest unit on the field. The cat only has 5 speed. Everyone else has 6 speed, and also they're much more deadly. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, that's perfect. Don't trust the Kana. Target
The reason-
panel. Here.
Yeah, the
okay.
reason why he wants to set up this grind is possibly he wants to unlock Wizard on a generic in Ramza here, and he wants to have move +1 on Ramza via spillover.
Fortunately,
Great.
after this battle, the run becomes a lot more controlled, and there's, well,
Yeah.
slightly less randomness. I want to say, like, not no randomness, but it settles down a bit, I guess you can say. Delita really should be dead at this point, but he was very resilient. It's probably because my units had bad compatibility to him. But I just
Yeah,
had to take
that's-
who I was given, so...
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, there's a good
Oh,
question in the chat, which is talk about spillover, JP.
Yeah, I guess I didn't mention that. Like, I explained how you gain JP and experience in this game, but there's also a thing called spillover JP. If a unit takes an action, like I said, it gains the JP, but it also spills over JP to other units on the field that have that class unlocked. So, for example, what I see right now is the female squire taking an action that gives all of Claude's units to squire JP as spillover JP. The same goes for if Guest takes action, actually. So if Delita takes an action, that's also to squire JP for everybody in his team, and so on and so forth. But the characters must have the class unlocked. So, like, for example, if the characters do not have Wizard unlocked and the Wizard takes an action, they don't Wizard JP for that.
Actually, they do gain JP, it's just that they can't really do anything with it. Because
No,
the
that's
class
true.
unlocked.
Yeah.
I think the Squire is going to grab the crystal. And I don't want to use any more MP restore items because I want them for later on in the game. So ending this fight is going to be kind of tricky. Again, this mostly dates back to the fact that my wizard didn't have that much faith, but there's really nothing you can do. Yeah, he's going to grab the crystal, nothing I could done.
This is not how the battle is supposed to look, but I guess a lot of bad well, starting stats led into this, I guess, and a bad lineup. That's compatibility. There's not much you can do about it.
I mean, it's not too terrible because I have to get JP anyways. It's just that usually the grinding is much more efficient in this battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how long does it usually take for, you know, like, if you have bad stats at the start of a run, how long does it take to offset that and kind of get back on pace? Does it really affect the whole run, or is it kind of the early game only?
Well, for reference, on these splits that I'm running side by side, I'm already, like, I'm losing a minute on the split, and the split was pretty bad. So it should have been over maybe, like, 2 minutes ago. But
Yeah.
it happens. Once I get the beginning out of the way, the run will be much better, I hope.
So it is a thing where, like, once we get going, the moves are going to kind of take over versus the stats.
Yeah. Like, starting JP is just something you can't do anything about, and that's really the main reason why you reset in the speedrun is just over starting JP.
Yeah. You could load on the right frame, but nobody knows what the right frame is.
Good thing I got this crystal. I was out of MP. Oh, and crystals, you have two options with a crystal. You can either restore your HP and MP to full, which I just did, or you can choose to learn abilities that the dead unit had. I don't need any abilities, so I'm just gonna restore my stuff. I'm very surprised that Delita managed to stay alive this long. It's quite impressive.
Well, he gains a lot of HP.
Yeah.
We also got a $1.27 donation from Dread. Yo, Claude. Good to see you marathoning. I remember the first time I saw this game, as well as the first time I saw you cream the second half with sick math. Good luck, save money, live better, Walmart.
Alright.
The leader's going nuts.
Yeah. Alright. I have what I need on that chemist. I know the Squire had really bad starting Squire JP as well. Alright, so all I need now is for that Squire to have 250 Squire JP, and then I'm good.
Yep. That's gonna get a lot more straightforward from this point onwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's really unfortunate that we had so bad luck right here.
Yeah.
But what can you do? It's a marathon.
Alright, finally took out Delita. When it doesn't really, like, matter anymore, but... I'm just gonna let the cat wander around. There's a good method of, like, getting the cat stuck, but there's really no point in going for it anymore.
Yeah.
By the way, I'd also like to point out that we've almost already raised $1,000 since Tactics started, so thanks
nice.
everybody for donating.
We have a
Sounds
special goal in mind, but we'll wait until a little bit later before we reveal it.
Ooh, okay, I like that.
Until
Alright.
when do you want to wait?
Let me think about it when this battle's over. Which hopefully it should
Like
be...
chapter 2? Chapter 3? I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. We'll do it at end of chapter 1. Alright, as soon as the Squire takes one more action, we'll be done with all the grinding, we'll finally be out of Mandalia Plains, and then we can move on with our lives. Which I can't wait to do.
It's funny how this is like the worst start, even though you practice with really bad starts before this marathon. It's really funny.
Alright, we finally beat it.
Dang, I was excited for world record, but...
Yeah, I could have done it, but I think I won't say what I am right now, but it's not looking good. It's still possible though. That's the crazy part.
Really?
If I get perfect luck from here, yeah, I can save 10 minutes starting right now.
That's insane. Okay,
is.
let's go.
All right. Anyways, we saved this mysterious man. He introduces himself as Algus, and he came here from a town called Limberry to help save his regent, Elmdor, I guess. And he really wants us to do that, so we're going to team up with him. I mean, why not? He seems like a trustworthy guy.
I'd also would like to point out, just as a reminder to anyone who is still considering donating, that if you donate at least $25, you'll be entered to win one of 2 grand prizes. The first is an AV Famicom set, which comes with all the cables, the controller, and a $10 game of your choice. And the second grand prize is a Hori N64 pad, and you get to choose between 5 different colors on that as well. So, just some incentive to donate. Besides, of course, benefiting Doctors Without Borders.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy you guys have raised so much so far.
I couldn't believe how fast we met our original goal. It was like 8 hours or less.
Alright, so in these cutscenes, Algus tries to ask Ram's brother, Daisadorg, for help in saving Elmdor. But Daisadorg didn't want any part of that, so now he's kind of lost about what to do. But here we meet someone else, which is Delita's sister, Tita, who also goes to the same, like, monastery, I think it is, that Ram's sister Alma goes to. We're just having a nice chat. And Ram's brother, Zalbag, says we shouldn't let Daisadorg tell us what to do, and we should just, like, follow our own path, take out the Death Corps, which is the guys we've been fighting so far, on our own. So we're gonna go do that. Sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like a good idea. I agree.
And we don't really have much else going on. Garland
Right.
Magic City Academy is pretty boring, so. But here Alma's concerned about Tita, again, Delita's sister, because Tita was born in a low status family, and she's worried that she's being treated unfairly. But that doesn't matter. Time to kill people. After this menu, of course.
I guess I should mention the green dots on the map that become relevant right now. So there's a chance that you get a random encounter on the green dots that are coming up on the world map. Because of that, we're gonna save most of the time. So in case we do get a random encounter, we can just reset and reload really fast to avoid that. Because fighting a random battle would take forever in this game. Luckily, in this instance, we didn't get a random battle. Very good.
We don't need that Garland generic anymore. She sucks. Go ahead. I have to menu.
Yeah. What he did here basically is gear up menu a bit, and this is where the speedrun takes off really, because now you can see the power of wizards after he unlocked those classes. He will use them almost exclusively for the whole run, I think. They have different uses though. Wizard is probably, I think it's the class with the highest magic attack.
It is, yes.
Correct me. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, that's what makes them so good, because magic in this game is really overpowered. And yeah, we get a taste of it in Chapter 1, but there is more diversity in the other chapters to come. It's gonna be very interesting, and it's gonna hopefully play a part in what I've planned, but more on that later. Yeah. Anyways, this is like the big preparation to breeze through Chapter 1 to the rest. He'll do minor menus if needed in some locations, but this is pretty much the big menu for now. And what he's doing is basically learning a lot of stuff, equipping stuff, and setting up for specific battles. Not much else to say. Oh yeah, and I guess I should mention, your guests, like that was mentioned before, he was trying to kill Delita, but he couldn't because of back compatibility. You usually want to kill your guests, in most cases anyways. Because the AI always takes time away from you. Yeah, this is Sweet Woods.
Yeah, now we finally get to use all of our generic units at once, and we'll be using them for the entire run. So that Garland wizard was just temporary to help us beat Mandalia, but she didn't really help that much, so screw her. I don't even know what her name is because I can't read Japanese.
Maybe somebody can tell us.
What are we looking for? Sorry, I was reading a donation that I'm going to read out loud in just a minute.
Nah, that's not important.
Yeah,
It's generic we dismissed. But
Go
Alright.
ahead. Go ahead.
I want to announce that we have doubled our original goal with this donation here. It's $100 from Vegeta, who says, "When is Equinox?"
Equinox.
yeah.
Vegeta is my friend, like IRL, so that's funny.
Congratulations, everybody! We doubled our original goal. Not only did we raise $6,000 for the Japanese runners to come to HDQ, but we've also raised $6,000 for Doctors Without Borders. Thanks, everybody, for donating.
Amazing.
It really is. Alright, so fortunately, my second generic, I forget her name right now, but I'll say it out loud as soon as I see it, had really good starting chemist JP, so I don't have to do any additional grinding in this battle. If I had to do any more grinding to get her wizard, it'd be in this battle, but we're actually good to go. So from here on out, we're just going to try and beat every battle as fast as possible, and that's it. No, like, hidden grinding, whatever stats to look for. We can just go ahead and go.
Yeah. Sometimes you would have to do extra grinding here, just a little bit, if one of these units is short on something, but luckily that's not the case.
And it was actually Walmart. Walmart, of course, with their everyday low prices, has tons of JP in store for us, so big ups to Walmart.
Oh my god.
So as you can see, all the enemies lined up except for the cat. That's actually done on purpose. Basically, in like every single battle, I place my units in a very specific spot, so the enemies line up the way I want them to. And sometimes it doesn't always work out, but for the most part, I feel like I found a good formation for every single battle to try and maximize the amount of enemies that line up for an AoE spell. And just like that, the battle's already over.
We lost time though.
Spoilers!
I wonder where though.
I saved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. That's actually 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, and the final unit got Wizard unlocked there. So naturally we're gonna give her the most powerful spells immediately.
So yeah, FFT is a very, I guess unforgiving is a good word, because 99% of the time, a battle is going to go perfectly fine, but I'm going to save before pretty much every questionable battle, just in case I hit the 1%. And I've hit the 1% in many different battles, so better safe than sorry.
But if the 1% happens, at least it's hilarious.
Yes. Well, that's debatable, but...
Yeah, not for the runner, but for the audience. So that's what we're shooting for here, I think.
Anyways, there's a bit more story here. There's this mysterious man threatening this other man, asking him where I believe Elmdor is.
Yep.
And later on we'll learn that this is in fact Wygraf, the leader of the Death Corps, aka the head honcho who we're chasing after, because he has Algis's regent man, Elmdor. But enough talk, let's fight. Oh, I should also mention that in addition to my 2 wizards, I'm also training up an archer. That's because I want that archer to unlock Thief. And there's actually a very important ability I need in the Thief class that I'll explain in a bit more detail right before the beginning of Chapter 3. And that ability is so important that I'd rather go without an extra wizard here, even though it would make the battle a little bit faster.
Yeah, the Thief is really what the run is about in Chapter 3 and 4, but we'll get to that.
So it's worth noting that the enemy always goes first if they have the same speed as you, because the enemy wins all tiebreakers.
Fair.
Which is actually to our advantage, because if they go first, then that means they can't move out of the AoE range of this spell, or any of the spells that I cast. So I can actually use very powerful magic, and they won't be able to move out of it because they essentially have like no CT, or I don't know a good way to explain CT, but it's basically like how time flows in FFT. The more CT you have, the closer you are to getting a turn. If they have no CT, then it's going to be a long time before they get their turn.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. The knight died. That's very important. The knight has actually a 3% chance to block the spell, which can get very annoying because you can run out of MP and then fight can drag on for a bit.
Was it you or me who had the 3% chance go off twice in one battle?
You and I had 3 times in a row once.
Nice.
Shoutouts to Everhate because he called it on that particular run. Yeah, I basically died in this battle, I think, as well, because he blocked it 3 times. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I know in marathons, like, there's always situations where it's like, oh, that's never happened to me before, but even in RTA attempts, it feels like there's always a, oh, that's never happened to me before situation that occurs to me in this game.
Every time, I agree.
Every time, every run I do, I learn something new. Or I get screwed in a way I never thought possible.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Thing about this game.
It really is.
Yeah, do you think that's part of the enjoyment of running it, is just kind of how reaction-based it can be?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm someone who gets, like, bored pretty easily, so, like, I always jump between a lot of different games. But FFT is just always the one I keep going back to, just because I know every run's going to be different. Because the abilities on generic enemies are all randomized, their equipment is pseudo-randomized, their faith and brave are randomized, their zodiac sign is randomized, and there's even a little bit of variance in how their AI behaves. So you can't predict how a battle is going to go. You just have to do your best and hope you can adapt to the situation. And even though I've been playing this game like forever, I still have a lot of trouble like making the correct decisions and whatnot. But that's why I like this game. You can like never master it. You can play it forever and just never master it.
I know Ness was talking about Pokemon trading card game the other day. Same thing there. He just likes having to deal with the situation in the moment. We did get some more donations, by the way, but if you want to explain the cutscene or something else first, let me know.
Oh yeah, in that cutscene, I believe we were looking for more info on where Elmdor is, and we found out he's in Rat Sellar, which is the next place we're going to. That's about it, so feel free.
Okay, we have $20 from Rambling Josh, who says hashtag stand with Ramza. We have $5 from 1W4N, or possibly Ivan. Greetings from Vienna. Continue the great work. Looking forward to HDQ 2015. And $75 from Ski, who says, seriously, when's Equinox?
Never. 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 Never playing that game again. You don't really get to appreciate it in the Japanese version, but this battle I'm in right now has like 3 different names. It's like the Cellar of Sand Mouse, it's also Sand Rat Desert, and it's also Zeklos Desert, depending on what you're looking at. That's mostly due to the very questionable translation that this game got.
A very good translation.
That's going to be more of the same. I manipulated the HP of my guest units in such a way that the enemy units are going to move into very specific spots, so I can hit them all with a lot of AoE. It's actually very important that Algus not die right away here, because if he does, then the enemies aren't going to move towards him, and that means they won't line up for AoE spells. But as you can see here, I got a very nice AoE formation that's done completely on purpose, and you can't manipulate it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, looks very good.
If everything goes well, all the units will die in one round of spells, but there's things to consider like bad compatibility, low faith, and even evasion. Although evasion on enemy units is very low at this point in the game. It's pretty much just the 3% chance to dodge from a shield. Although it can go up to 6% if they have defend, which doubles all evasion. Alright, and actually got a very nice battle. I got a very nice Swiggy, Dorter, and Sand Rat Sellar all in a row. Help make up for the bad luck at the beginning.
Yeah, very nice. Good battle. We save time.
Spoilers. We found Elmdor. He's the guy lying on the floor bleeding to death. Looks like he's seen better days. In this cutscene, we actually learned that Wygraf, the leader of the Death Corps, didn't sanction this kidnapping of Elmdor, and he's actually very displeased with his subordinates. So he offers a trade, which is Elmdor's life for his own, because we now have him, like, trapped. Even though he could probably take us all on if he just fought Ramza, Algus, and Delita. But he's a nice guy. We're just gonna back away slowly and get things taken care of. Alright, here I'm going to try and cross 2 green dots at once. If you want to explain why, Elmagoose, feel free.
Oh, 2 green dots at once, alright. So, the way it works, like I said, every green dot has a chance to give you a random encounter. I think it's 1 out of 3 or something like that.
It's a 30% chance for an encounter.
30%, alright. But if you cross multiple dots at once, sometimes, and I don't really know the specific locations or whatnot, but for this instance, it will lower the chance you get an encounter in Mandalia. Why? Good question, it's in the code, but if you do that, like later in the run, there's a very, very specific instance where we'll cross 5 green dots, where the last green dot will be a 0% chance for a random encounter. So, yeah. He got one in Mandalia anyways, nice.
Yeah, that looks really stupid, but basically, if you try and cross both green dots at once, there's a 60% chance you'll make it over with no encounters. But if you try and cross them individually, you take the separate percentages of not getting an encounter, and it's less than trying to cross them both at once, if that makes any sense at all. Oh, I just saved again for no reason. Alright.
Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Alright, that save was just RNG manipulation, don't worry.
Yeah.
There goes the dream of a single segment speedrun. That's okay.
That's fine. I don't think anybody has finished this game with 0 encounters yet.
Not yet, not yet. I have faith that
But
one day Chestrick will.
We're working on it.
I think my PB for lowest amount of encounters in a run so far is 2. Like the entire run, which is actually still really crazy.
2 is pretty crazy. But I think I saw you get only 1.
No,
I'm not sure though.
that wasn't me.
Oh, was it Chestrick?
It might have been. Chestrick really knows the frames on encounters.
Whoa, I see the dollar signs going up. That must mean we have donations.
Oh, go ahead.
$25 from some guy named Twig.
Oh, dude, I hate that guy. That guy might
Oh, man.
might really be like the worst human being on the planet. Like, no joke.
He's always mad all the time.
I don't know why he's always so mad. Probably because he didn't have a
Anyway.
42. Go ahead.
Yeah, that could be. His comment is shoutouts to money.
Yo, speaking of shouts to money, shouts to money.
Shoutouts to money. We got $10 from Big Fong Balls, Dream Slime, and Deer Cup to this awesome marathon. Good luck, Claude. $30 from LCC. This goes towards using Rockman to defeat Ultimisia in Sky Fortress Bahamut.
I don't, what? Wait, what? Hello? Is there something I don't get? Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
You gotta explain this to
Please
us.
explain the joke.
I'm sorry. No, it's
No.
alright. It's all
Alright,
good.
you sure? You're good?
I'm good. I'm good. Carry on.
Anyways.
sorry, one more.
We have more donations. Feel free. I love donations.
Sorry, I'll get it out of the way quick. We got $100 from Pirska with no
Ooh.
comment, so thank you very much.
Alright, so we went to visit Ram's brother Dysadarg after we saved Elmdor. He wasn't too proud of what we did because we technically didn't obey orders, but then he was like, do whatever you want, I don't care anymore. So now we're like, okay, well, let's go fight more Deathcore at Thieves Fort because, you know, there's probably a lot of thieves at Thieves Fort. It's right there in the name. So, we'll do that. And this battle is very, very straightforward because this is the first, what we call assassination battles, I guess, where in order to end the fight, you don't have to defeat every unit on the field like we did before. You only have to defeat one unit. And in that case, that is the female knight in the center of your screen right now, named Maluda. And she goes down very easily. She never has any magic evasion. And bosses always have fixed Brave and Faith, and their HP is usually the same. It's actually in a range, but for the most part it's the same. And that means she always dies to 1 bolt 3. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to say the range is pretty close, so for speedrunning purposes, you know you're gonna kill her every time. That's all I had.
Alright. And just like that, she's down. It's worth knowing that there's actually a lot of dialogue in these fights if you let the guests and the bosses get multiple turns. But because we end the battles so quickly, or at least we try to end the battles so quickly, you usually don't see all the dialogue that a battle has to offer.
We lost time.
Yeah, the encounter. And the double save. Well, the double save is RNG manipulation, so I don't even know if you can count it.
I guess not.
And we're gonna let Maluda go, even though she's, you know, a higher ranking member of the Death Corps, because we're cool guys. You know, we don't want to hurt anyone. We just want to be the Death Corps for some reason. You know, with a name like that, you have to imagine they're up to no good. But meanwhile... looks like the Death Corps is up to no good again. They kidnapped Delita's sister, Tita. They were trying to kidnap Alma's too, but Zelbag was too powerful.
It's probably one of my favorite cutscenes in the game.
Mm-hmm. Zelbag has a really great line here in the North American version where he just says, "Hey, get a grip," while he watches his brother, like, die before his eyes. Like, that's what you say to someone who's, like, dying right in front of you. He's like, get a grip, right? Alright, this is the last chance to get an encounter in Chapter 1. I won't spoil it.
That means you got one.
Yeah.
Of course. That's 2 encounters so far?
Yeah, 2.
That's
2
still
is
not too
2
bad.
is average if I just keep it at 2 for Chapter
Yeah.
1.
Like, you can say on average in a run you get around, like, between 7 and 10 probably is a good average.
Yeah, I'd say
Somewhere.
10 is usually my average. If I get less than 10,
Yeah.
I'm happy. If I get more than 10, I'm upset.
Yeah. So how much time does it actually lose for you right now if you get an encounter?
Each encounter costs about 30 seconds on the Japanese version. It actually costs
I see.
more time on this version of the game because you have to check the memory card each time you load your game, whereas you don't have to do that in the North American version. And of course, it's always faster to save and then try and cross a green dot and then reload if you get one, because if you actually fought the encounter, you would lose like 2-3 minutes if you're being generous. Like, usually you're going to lose like up to 5. It's never ever worth it to actually fight the encounter. And there's no way to escape from encounters in FFT. You must fight. There is no other option.
Yeah, you're locked in.
No flee option. no bribe option, nothing.
So I guess while we're waiting here, I have a question for you. I think this might have already been answered, but if it wasn't, then maybe we can explain it. Do we explain the reasoning behind no math and what that means for the run?
We went into it a little bit earlier, but I'll definitely explain it again because just like seeing no math up there is kind of like what the heck does that mean? No math means not using the calculator skill set math skill, which anyone can access in this game, like Ramza, any generic units, what have you. And math skill is really good because it allows you to basically just instant kill all the enemies from across the screen. I mean, that sounds cool, but it like eliminates all the strategy, all the tactics from the game, so to speak. You don't even have to move to do it. You just like select one cursor option, you hit it, and then boom, everything dies. I do run math categories, or any percent, I guess it technically is, because you're trying to beat the game as fast as possible. But they're just like not nearly as interesting as no math runs, which is why I primarily tend to run this category, either on the Japanese version or the North American version. Like, I know instantly killing all enemies from across the screen sounds cool until you have to watch it for 3 hours, and then you're like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, the instant win factor kind of takes away the challenge or the fun of it to some extent.
That's true, but it can go wrong, and then funny scenarios can happen even in math runs, but that's very rare actually. Math has been routed really well by a few people, I guess. It's up to the point where there's like a few 5% chance fails that could get in your way if you play it super safe, so it's pretty damn optimized. I don't know about no math actually. You said there was probably quite a few time savers you could still think of, but it's at a point where it's kind of optimized.
Well, it's hard to say with no math categories just because the route is constantly in flux and there's always like new stuff you can find, whereas any percent or math categories, it's just there's one strategy you have to use for the battle and that's it. Like, you're not going to get faster than using like say CT3 Bolt 3 at Door to Trade City 2 in a math run. Like, there is no other faster strategy.
Right.
Oh yeah, in these cutscenes we found out that Algus is a jerk, and also Delita's really sad that his sister got kidnapped, so we're gonna go get her back. Because, why not? Your sister gets kidnapped, you should rescue her. That's the responsible thing to do.
I agree. Yeah, you should probably talk about the reed flute. That wasn't a cutscene. It's a recurring theme in the game for some reason.
When we crossed over Mandalia Plains, that is the only green dot in the entire run where it's impossible to get an encounter, so that's why I didn't save before it. Instead, we watched a very touching cutscene between Delita and Ramza about how how Delita feels that he is like a lesser human being because he was born to a lower class, and Ramza was born to a higher class. And Delita thinks that if he was, if he had a different name, things would be different, his sister wouldn't get kidnapped, etc. It's a very, very touching moment, and they celebrate that touching moment by blowing on a reed flute, because how else would you celebrate it in the magical world of Ivalice? I can't think of any other way.
Same.
So, normally assassination battles are very straightforward, but this battle can be kind of scary because Maluda has a small mantle in this battle, which means she has a 10% chance to dodge magic. If I fail to land at least 2 Bolt 3s on her, then things will go very, very poorly. But it hasn't happened in any practice run, or really any run I've ever done in this category, so I should be fine, right?
Please be fine. Thank you.
It's worth noting that there are unevadable spells you can use, it's just that you don't actually have the MP to use them at this point in the game. I actually have Holy already learned on Ramza, but I just can't use it, I don't have the MP. And sadly, there are no glitches that let you use abilities without having the proper amount of MP. Not counting, math skill. which isn't really a glitch, but...
Oh yeah, I think you should mention the equipment you can buy and whatnot. It actually gives you... Oh no. Okay, hold on. Oh no, dude.
Alright.
Are we good? Are we good?
We're good. Go on.
Alright. Alright, anyways, the equipment you can buy and wear actually gives you HP and MP, and depending on the equipment, yeah. The starting equipment we have right now obviously does not give a lot of HP and MP. You gain HP and MP with level ups as well, but the HP and MP gains are not that huge. So that's pretty much the reason you can't just go ahead and like cast Holy or whatnot, even if you level up your characters. You probably could if you level up a lot, but...
But it's not worth it,
yeah,
obviously, speedrun.
Yeah. Equipment is the main source of HP and MP gains in this game.
If you really wanted to cast Holy at this point in the game, you should unlock Summoner and set the support ability half of MP. That's what I do in North American no math runs, but Summoner is much easier to unlock in that version of the game, just due to lower job level requirements. That being said, even though it takes longer to unlock job levels in the Japanese version of this game, and overall the Japanese version is much harder, there's one very specific reason as to why it's actually faster to run this game on Japanese than North American, besides text, which is a bit faster.
Obvious, yeah.
And we'll go into that later. Here, Ygraph is talking to his subordinates and is like, "Oh, you kidnapped someone again? I thought I told you to stop kidnapping people." He's like, I mean, it's so fun." He's like, "Oh, whatever. I'll take care of this myself." And Ygraph actually doesn't even want to fight us. The only reason he wants to fight us is because the woman who we killed in the last battle and the woman who we fought at Thieves Fort is actually Ygraph's sister. And, you know, when you kill someone's sister, technically, or usually they get a little upset, so you can't really blame him.
Eh.
And again, this is another assassination battle, and same deal as the last one. Ygraph has a small mantle. He has a 10% chance to dodge magic, but I only have to land 2 bolt 3s to kill him. And in fact, if Ramses bolt 3 lands, I only need 1 bolt 3 to kill him.
I just read in chat, yes, the spells he casts can actually hit his own units as well. So you want to avoid it. The only spells technically that will not affect your own units are summon magic spells or summons.
There's actually a weird quirk with the level 4 spells from wizards where they cannot hit the caster for whatever reasons.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if a unit casts bolt 4, she cannot hit herself, but she can hit your own units, unlike summons.
I see. So yeah, the placement of the spells is really important so that you don't just go and kill your own units. Gotta pay attention.
Throw stone wasting a little bit of time there, but let's just hope we don't miss.
Alright, so I have a question. Is
Sure.
this the smallest map in the game?
There are a few debug maps which are very, very small, but overall,
Probably.
It's just, I remember this, like, just casually playing it too, thinking that it just felt really cramped on this stage.
I can't think of anything smaller, to be honest.
like, you know how in cutscenes they take place on, well, obviously like different maps and whatnot. You can actually fight on those maps if you use a debug code, but obviously you can't fight there in like actual like gameplay. But like, for example, you can fight in Dysodark's chambers or whatever, and it works fine. In fact, the geomancy for the debug maps are coded perfectly. So if you want to have a fight on there, feel free if you have like a Game Shark or what have you, emulator tools. And
I
technically
guess.
those maps are smaller than any battle you fight on in storyline battles.
I think, what is it? Miron Hall is could be smaller.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But other than that, I don't think there's a smaller map. At least in the main storyline, there isn't.
We did get another $5 donation from Rubicant, who says, "Was it Bolt? I will show you how." Summons Rama.
Nice. I like it when Final Fantasy characters donate for Final Fantasy runs.
Always good.
So we beat up Ygraph. He ran away because we were too powerful. But we still haven't found Delita's sister. Oh, never mind. We found her. She seems to be okay. Just gotta do a little bit of hostage negotiation here. We should be on our way. Oh dear.
This can't be good.
I mean, Algus was, you know, kind of a not nice guy, but to actually just, you know, kill Delita's sister like that seems a bit much.
Damn.
Yeah. Couldn't save her again. So a specific quirk with the AI in this battle is that normally the AI just targets whoever it can deal the most damage to. And there are a few other quirks, but sometimes the AI is specifically programmed to override its normal AI. And in this battle, because Delita just watched his sister die in front of him, Delita's AI is programmed to specifically go for Algus and only Algus. And he will do nothing except attack Algus until he's dead. So that's a pretty cool change. Little cool gameplay quirk they put in.
So here's a question I have personally.
Alright.
Does Tita actually have a class and a skill set in this battle?
Yes, she does. Delita's class is called Tita's class is called Delita's Sis. It has two abilities in it. It has Cure and it has Wish. Wish is an ability shared between everyone that served, well, not really served, but was under the care of Ramza's father, Balbanes, which is Ramza, Alma, Delita, and Tita. It restores a small amount of health in addition to hurting the caster, but mostly it's just in there for storyline purposes to show the link between the characters. Oh yeah, and sadly you can't cast Raise on Tita. You can't do anything to revive her because her class also has Auto Dead, which means that no matter what you do, you can't revive her. She's going to be dead forever. And also, she doesn't have that many frames of animation, so if you try and put Tita in your party, she's going to be very glitchy. I don't recommend doing that. If you have like a Game Shark or whatever. Alright, we made it out of Chapter 1. Good.
That's important.
Solid.
Yeah.
Plus a million.
It's actually ridiculous how much time you lost on the grind. But
That was something else.
Has been good other than Mandalia, really.
Good Chapter 1. 2 encounters. Well, 3 total, but...
Time for a break, indeed.
Yeah, feel free. So, you know, Toledo's really sad that his sister died, so naturally he's just going to walk into an explosion. But we know he's not dead because we already saw him at the beginning of the game, so Ram's just like, man, why did my best friend walk into an explosion? Picture of explosion for reference. Yeah, the explosion blew them to safety, pretty much. Well, that was a good flashback. You know, we learned a lot. But now it's time to get to the issue at hand, which is that the princess was kidnapped by Delita. And we should probably go get her back because, you know, we couldn't save Tita, but maybe we can still save the princess. And we were also given the ability to take the 3 units we saw in the tutorial battle by the name of Rad, Alicia, and Lavian. Rad is pretty useless, like everywhere, so we don't need him, but we do need the other 2. The other 2 units are very good. Now we're going to do a bit of menuing here, and then we'll be on our way.
We have an anonymous $20 donation for JRTA, Claude Hype, and Doctors Without Borders. Thanks for donating.
Alright, this will be the last battle where we don't have access to level 4 spells. One of the main reasons why we took Alicia, which is one of the knights we just recruited, is that Alicia is much higher level than the rest of my units. Alicia is level 8, whereas the rest of my units are like level 3, level 4. And at around level 8, you have enough MP to cast Bolt 4 with the equipment we're going to buy after this battle. And here we meet a mysterious stranger who wants us dead for some reason, and he's paying this group of thieves to try and take us out. But then when the thief realizes who he's up against, he gets epic mad and throws his hat on the ground. He's actually very scared of Gafgarion, well, Gafgarion in particular, but we actually stripped Gafgarion naked before this fight, again because he's too slow. Who the thief should really be afraid of are my wizards.
Yeah, Gafgarion and Agris don't deal a lot of damage even with their unique skill sets. It's like 30 to 40, and really it only wastes time if you let them do things.
So here I can't really get as guaranteed a good formation as in the other battles, so I kind of just have to hope they line up in favorable positions, and I'm just going to hit him with Bolt 3s. I want to say there's more of an exact science to it, and it is a bit more complicated than I described, but for the most part I'm just like praying they move into my spells. And this is actually not a bad formation.
Yeah, looking good. In practice, the second archer, the second female archer in particular, always moved right in the back, which is just out of range of the spells, but this time she lined up quite well.
I think I actually walked into this. Okay, I thought I walked into the arrow. Even if I did, it was still worth it to walk into the arrow because I wanted to reach the units in the back.
Yeah, and I think there's close to no chance that a charge from an archer kills you here anyways.
It is possible, and it has happened to me, but yeah, it's very rare. And this is actually a very, very good battle so far. Almost got a perfect fight, but this thief had a little bit too much HP. But I'll take this any day, compared to what I've seen before.
Oh yeah, definitely. Gafgarion has throw item. Or you made him a chemist, alright, I forgot. But he has
there
high
I
push.
attacked the thief with a Thunder Rod, and triggered Bolt 1 because I knew it would proc, even though it's only like a 19% chance.
Nice.
Don't ask me why I did that instead of just casting Bolt 1, but you know, I felt it was the right thing to do, and I did it.
World record pace, that's why you did it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a very, very good fight. In Chapter 2, there are a lot of very sketchy fights where you can lose a lot of time. That's one of them. But it went well.
In this category, Chapter 2 is probably the worst, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you think it's Chapter 1 from how much time I spent on Mandalia, but usually you just, like, reset if it goes that badly. Let's change Walmart's class to Squire real fast. And let's do a proposition.
Because
Maybe you can explain what propositions are, Almagoose?
Oh, okay. There are little quirks that you get in Chapter 2 in Barius that are called propositions, which are essentially little jobs you can do with your generic units. They take a certain amount of days you can actually choose, and depending on what class you send on this proposition, not all of them, some of them you can do just like that, but some require specific classes to get sent on these jobs. You get little rewards like gil, jaw points, and specific little treasures, I want to call them. These are not important, but what we want to have here is a little more JP on Alicia, I think. To give her the boost that she actually gets to be a wizard in the next fight. And I think the proposition he did, or the units he sent him off, you need the Squire for that, right?
Yeah, I get that to get a move +1 on generic number 1.
Oh, so you don't need a specific class for that proposition? I know there are some propositions that require you to send a specific class on them, but...
Oh, that's just for bonus JP. You don't actually have to do that.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Well, some guys say you do need to do that, so I've been lied to. Very nice. And as you can tell, I'm not as experienced with this game as Claude is. So yeah, basically this is another big menu right here where he sets up for the rest of the chapter pretty much. He's only gonna do minor adjustments here and there from here on out.
Yeah, there's one more really big menu at the beginning of Chapter 3, but for the most part, all the very heavy menuing is already done.
Yeah. Did somebody donate to save Boko?
I don't know. I don't think I heard anything about saving Boko, so I'm not going to save him.
Oh, man. Chocobo.
See, on our way to rescue the princess, we have to fight these very pivotal battles of the plot where, you know, Boko's in a forest and we have to save him, or not save him. We're not going to save him because saving him is very slightly slower. Because if you choose to save him, like, saving him, like, preventing him from dying in the fight isn't actually that difficult at all. It's just that if you opt to save him, the camera pans over to him, and you have to watch the message, oh, save Boko, instead of defeat all enemies. And that wastes like 5 seconds or whatnot, so we're not going to do that.
I just want to correct you, we did have one donation that said don't forget to save Boko, but...
Oh man, and you didn't?
Well, you know, sometimes, for the sake of... I mean, we already saw some animals saved today, we don't have to save all the animals.
That's true.
I guess.
If it makes you feel better, you probably didn't hear it because I think it was during Super Metroid, so...
Yeah, I was busy with setup and whatnot.
Nice excuse.
Well, it's true.
But yeah.
So, I actually learned a few other spells besides Bolt spells, and one of those spells is Ice 3 and Ice 2, which I only learned for this one battle because goblins are weak to ice. And if you cast ice spells on them, they pretty much like instantly die. They have no chance of... But this unit, if he gets a critical... Okay, he didn't. But that goblin right there had good compatibility to Alicia and very high brave. So he's going to do a lot of damage with that tackle, yeah. If he had gotten a max damage critical, Alicia would have died, but fortunately that didn't happen.
That's like only the second I saw a goblin have more than 70 brave too. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, this is 1 out of 3 fights in the game that you have to do where you fight monsters actually, like only monsters. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, there are very few battles where you... Oh, Gefgaren's in my spot. Hate that. I guess I should move here. Yeah, here. Yeah, there are very few battles you actually fight monsters. Normally you fight humans, and humans are much more difficult to deal with because humans can have much greater variety in what skills they have access to, whereas monsters are very fixed. They only have like 2 or 3 abilities.
Yeah, and most of the monsters you do fight outside of random battles are actually pretty weak and don't have very good skills, except Red Chocobos, probably.
Red Chocobos and the Hydra class of monsters are probably the best monsters in the game.
Alright, yeah, you do fight Hydras. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, since we didn't save Boko, we lost time. Thank you.
Well, I'd argue it's because I saved, but, you know, whatever.
And he doesn't even take Boko. Well, the main reason you don't want to have Boko, obviously, he is not very useful, and monsters have a little quirk that if you take one of them with you, after a short period of time, they will actually lay eggs and give you additional monster units. That actually advances in classes. Like, monsters have 3 different forms, like their basic form, their secondary form, and their final form, which is like for Chocobos, for example, you have Chocobos, Black Chocobos, and Red Chocobos. With Red Chocobos obviously being the strongest. And in a speedrun, you obviously do not want to have monsters and constantly remove them for no reason.
So taking Boko is more cumbersome than it initially appears because he lays so many eggs and has so many babies.
Yeah, by himself as well.
It's not like Final Fantasy V where he has all the babies at the end of the game. Here he gets them as soon as you recruit him. And here we found the princess. She was at a waterfall, I guess. And also Gafgarion betrayed us. I can't believe it. I can't believe a Dark Knight would betray us. But fortunately we stripped him naked before this fight, so he's not going to be that cumbersome to deal with. We're actually going to kill Gafgarion straight away if Toledo doesn't kill him for us, because if we don't, there's going to be a lot of dialogue between Gafgarion, Agrius, and Ramza. Which is actually why we're bringing this monk, Lavian. Oh, Toledo, of course, always helping me out.
He had Holy Explosion 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't even know he could. Holy Explosion is the last Holy Knight skill, and it costs a lot of JP. I'm quite amazed that he got that in a run.
See, I brought that monk just to kill Gafgarion, which seems excessive, but if I didn't do that, there would be so much dialogue you'd have to listen to. But by getting rid of Gafgarion instantly, we can just proceed with the battle with no extra dialogue. Alright, all I want here is for this knight to not break Ovelia's wizard robe. Alright, I think he just broke Ovelia's wizard robe.
That is bad.
It really is. It really is very bad. Again, I can't read Japanese, so I can't tell if that was armor break or helmet break. But either way, Ovelia is missing a piece of equipment, and I hardly doubt it's her white staff. That's very unfortunate. You really want to not have Ovelia's wizard robe get broken, because the wizard robe is a very good piece of equipment at this point in the game, because it gives you +2 magic attack, and also a lot of extra MP. And you can't buy wizard robes until later on in Chapter 2. And many of the fights coming up are very difficult, and you really want that wizard robe. I'll check after this battle to see if it was her hat or her robe. If it was her hat, it's no big deal, because we can buy the hats right after this next battle.
It looks like the robe, though.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, I think helmet break is like 54% on her, and robe armor break is 52. I could be wrong on that though.
That said, aside from the robe getting broken, the fight went pretty well overall.
Yeah, pretty good, as I recall. This is one of the most, don't want to say difficult battles, but you can lose a lot of time here depending on what the units do. Or what they have equipped and whatnot.
Well, we saved the princess, but we couldn't save her gear, which is the only thing that actually matters.
Yeah.
Delita, we don't really know what's going on with Delita right now. I mean, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? Either way, he's leaving the princess in our care, so that's pretty cool.
Well, he's a holy knight. He's gotta be good, right?
Yeah, I mean, they don't just get that out to anyone, even though Wygraf was a white knight and also had holy sword steel abilities. He's the leader of the Death Corps, so...
Huh. I guess you're right.
Just a reminder again to the viewers that if you donate $25 or more for the end of the marathon, you'll be entered to win one of 2 grand prizes. The first one is an AV Famicom set, which comes with a controller, the cables, the Famicom itself, and then a game of your choosing. And the other prize is an N64 Hori controller, and there are 5 different colors of that controller to choose from. Both of those were donated by Yggdrasil, whose store is actually linked in our credits underneath the stream. So we encourage you to check out his store because he was so generous in donating a lot of the prizes.
So yeah, it was indeed the Wizard Robe that was broken. That's going to make the next few fights very, very interesting, but it's not worth resetting the battle to try and get the robe. Just going to try and play without it.
With good luck, we can just get the next spells done in a reasonable manner, I guess.
Unfortunately, this battle coming up is probably one of the hardest in the entire run, and having the Wizard Robe makes it like a little bit manageable, but not having it really sucks.
Yeah, even casually, this is probably one of the most difficult battles because most people will try to save the guy right there, and this guy is not very cooperative if you want to save him.
Yeah, and like Elmagus just said, we had the option of saving this mysterious man, but especially without the Wizard Robe, we are definitely not going to do that. The worst thing Mustadio can do is use arm aim on the archer, which is of course what he just did. And the archer is probably going to run all the way to the back of the map, meaning we won't be able to target her with spells, which sucks because if you can target her with spells, that means we can kill her, and if you kill her, you can end the battle. But it's just not going our way.
Yeah, Mustadio has a special class called Engineer, which has 3 skills, called Leg Aim, which inflicts stone move, Arm Aim, which inflicts stone act, and Seal Evil, which petrifies monsters, or undead monsters, I should say, or undead in general. And they can equip guns, which is a really good weapon, actually. Reaches over 8 tiles, I want to say? 9 tiles? Has a long range, anyways, and that benefits his skills a lot. But yeah, for this battle, it's not really favorable if you hit it because, as you can see, the units will move away from you, which you do not want to have happen in this battle. Now, the interesting part is gonna be if we can deal enough damage to the units that are actually in range.
Yeah, well, I landed all the spells. Now we just gotta pray it's enough damage and that they don't evade.
This is it?
So far I've seen worse.
Yeah, it's looking good on my screen.
It's these knights though, without the Wizard Robe and only having the triangle hat. Alright, I got lucky.
Nice. That's what we want to hear.
Mustadio going for the double arm aim. You might think it's good for Mustadio to inflict Don't Act, which stops the unit from taking an action on the enemy units. But it's actually very bad, because that just causes them to run to the corner, as evidenced here. And then we can't kill them, and that's... You know, that's unfortunate. And... Probably could have moved Ramza to a better spot than where I did.
Well, at least it's going better than one practice run I have
Yeah.
in mind.
Oh,
where
well,
Ramza
actually,
kept
you know,
winning.
actually... Is he gonna
Yeah,
do it again? Okay,
Oh
he's
my
finally
God.
going for physical damage, so... That's a step in the right
Okay.
direction. Alright, I think I'm gonna burn a few ethers here. Normally I try and be very conscious of my MP management, but for the way this battle is going, I definitely need to get more damage on the field. Especially since Ramza is actually in danger of dying.
Do you actually need either just later in the run, or?
I only
Ideally
need them for
not.
Chapter 2.
Okay, so we should be okay, even if we use ethers here.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
So... Alright.
Yeah, a reminder, if anybody in chat has a question, try to post it, I'll try to catch it and ask Claude, or answer it myself, depending on what the question is. But this is a hard to follow game if you see it for the first time, so feel free to ask questions.
I have a few questions myself, like when's this battle gonna be over?
A minute? Probably.
Let's hope so. These archers are very resilient.
Oh
Hopefully
yeah,
this
she's
audio
low.
helps me out here.
She's low faith, that's not good.
Yeah. Also, maybe you can explain why I'm not bothering to revive Ramza right away as well.
Because he can't do anything?
Well, I meant more like gameplay mechanics and whatnot.
Oh, right. So, Ramza's CT still, clock ticks still work, like, even if he's dead. So if you revive him, he's not gonna get a turn immediately, like in other RPGs or something. He's actually, yeah, he's actually still under the same clock ticks he was when he was alive. So if you revive him with the unit and the enemy unit goes after that, he's just gonna die immediately afterwards, and your revival has been in vain. So you gotta pay attention to that.
I revived him just to reset the counter, because this is going pretty terribly.
Yeah.
And also, the one unit that actually has MP has worse compatibility to the archer, so...
Nice. Perfect. Now this is officially worse than the practice run you did. But it's alright, it's a marathon. It was bound to happen. But like you mentioned earlier, it's probably the most difficult battle in this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the wizard robe, I think it would have gone a little smoother than this. Even though you could not have prevented this probably in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, yeah. At this point, Mustadio can probably do more damage than I can, so
Yeah.
probably for the best he didn't die early on.
This is ridiculous though, like, bad compatibility and 46 faith is really, really rare.
Well, after this spell and this gunshot, hopefully this archer will finally be dead. Oh, don't forget I also missed a spell on her as well.
Oh yeah, right. Nice.
Yeah. Alright. Casual plus 5 minutes.
Alright, there's a question in chat. Why do Phoenix Towns advertise reviving you with an amount of HP, but then it's always significantly less than it actually advertised?
Oh yeah, Phoenix Stands can restore a random amount from 1 to 20 HP, and each value is equally distributed, so the number displayed on the screen really doesn't mean that much. Well, after a long and arduous struggle, we saved Mustadio. We did it. But we still don't have a wizard robe, so the next fights are also going to be pretty challenging.
Yeah, but you are gonna stock up on triangle hats right now, right?
Yeah, so everyone will have a triangle hat, which will make things a bit easier, but
Yeah.
you really want that wizard robe on one of your hired units, in this case Walmart, to just guarantee a little bit of extra damage on everyone. That cutscene was so good, I want to watch another cutscene.
Walmart safe MP cast stronger? I agree.
So here Ovelia is concerned about how so many people are fighting over her, so many people are dying over her when she's just a simple princess, and she wishes it doesn't have to be this way. And of course she's sharing these very intimate feelings with Agrius, who is her sworn bodyguard. And Rams is just going to peep in and listen to the conversation, because he's that kind of guy. Excuse me, I Heart Dream Boom is going to listen in on the conversation.
What will your goal finishing time here?
What was that? My goal?
What would be your goal for a good run, I guess, of this category?
If I was going for a really good run, I'd want to get like 4 hours and 30 minutes, but here I think I'm going to struggle to beat my estimate, I guess.
We're still on pace for estimate, easily, so I don't know.
I wouldn't say easily.
Yeah, with this game never easily, but we'll see, we'll see. Why don't you ever hate to restore RNG to your run? Good question.
So coming up next is another pretty difficult fight, for the same reasons as Zaland Fort City, although it's probably not going to go as bad as Zaland Fort City goes, because the enemies are going to line up a little bit better. And we don't have to worry about Mustadio doing anything stupid because we stripped him naked, and we're actually going to kill him as soon as the fight begins with that monk. Similar to how we killed Gafgarian at the start of Zyrkal Falls a little bit earlier. And killing Mustadio is worth it just to skip his turn and let him, you know, save him from wandering around everywhere.
Yeah. It's worth noting that to kill off these characters, Gafgarian and Mustadio, you need the power wrist equip, which gives you 1 strength. I think for Mustadio you don't need it, for Gafgarian you absolutely need to have it.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is that Lavian actually has best compatibility to Mustadio, so she deals a lot of damage to him, so he's very easy to kill. Pretty much the worst possible formation you can get here, I think. Yeah, I don't even have a chance of killing the back archer, and I have to burn a bolt 4 to kill the knight on the left because he didn't want to walk into my spell. And that's just random.
Still looking okay though. Shouldn't have too much trouble.
Well, it depends on if they evade or survive.
They won't evade.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I know. I know also. Oh god. He did in fact evade. He didn't even guard, he did evade.
Mm-hmm. He's actually gonna get a turn here. Alright. Maybe I'll get lucky and Ramza will kill the archer. Oh no, he's going to get owned. That's right. This is very, very, very bad. I'm tempted to restart the battle. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. Oh god.
Actually, yeah, I can't recover from this. I'm just gonna restart it.
Yeah. This was really, really bad luck.
Moving into the range of the... Well, I guess moving into the range of the knight was kind of my fault, but at the same time, I really needed to move that far forward to try and catch the archer and the summoner with both 3.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that Ramza had taken damage from an arrow prior to moving over there. If he hadn't taken that damage, he would have been able to tank the sword skill, or the sword attack, even though it was a mid-charge attack.
And for reference, this is the first time I see Claude resetting an FFT run and doing the battle over, so this is not happening a lot. But anyway, since we restarted the battle, that was a question: are there Easter eggs in FFT, like special characters, etc., etc.?
Are there special characters in this game?
Easter eggs, like special character, for example.
None that I can think of. None worth
Or
mentioning.
other. Alright, moving on.
Well, there's a giant robot, there's a very cool temple knight who has like a lot of cool status effects and whatnot, and there's a very, very good-looking female dragoner woman. But other than that, I can't think of any.
Alright.
So, right here I'm already getting much better luck. You can up in much more favorable positions. Hopefully this knight also does that. No, he didn't. But overall, this is looking much better than before.
Yeah. I think the leftmost knight is the most important one to kill right here.
And both summoners have haste, which is...
Incredible.
Doesn't usually happen. I don't think this knight can move out of the range of the spell though, even if haste lands.
I rarely see the summoners have time
Yeah.
magic.
This
For
time they
of
both
them
have
to
it.
That's amazing. But I guess it makes sense for this version of the game. Because
Yeah.
they would have to have time mage level 3, unlike in the US version, where they would only have to have time mage level 2.
A knight survived there. He wouldn't have survived had I had the wizard robe, but as we all know by now, I don't have that.
It's looking much, much better though.
Yeah, this battle is actually winnable now. As it definitely wasn't before.
Yeah. I think you would have died there.
Yeah, use bolt 2. Don't think this knight has enough damage to kill me. With a mid-charge? No, definitely not. Unless he gets a critical. Which he won't. He won't. He won't. He won't.
You realize you should not mention this kind of stuff. He has an awful lot of evade, though. Oh, nice break.
Yeah. Had to make sure I had enough MP to cast the spell, like if he had broken my triangle hat or whatnot. Might not have had enough MP.
Nice suicide.
Thank you.
Still on pace for the estimate, it's all good. It's close, but we're still... actually, no, we're not. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, well there's a lot of time on these fake splits that, you know, we're not looking at to save in 3 and 4, but...
I agree, but... depends on what the game wants us to do.
Anyways, in this cutscene we find out that Gafgarin and Ramza's brother Daisadarg, they're not very good people. They want Ovelia dead, because they want Orinus on the throne. Orinus is a very young prince who's next in line to take the throne. And Orinus, if he does accede to the throne, then Larg, who we saw in earlier cutscenes, will take the throne as a regent. And Daisadarg and Gafgarion are good friends with Larg, and they want to see Orinus on the throne. And to do that, they have to kill Ovelia, because right now Ovelia is poised to take the throne because she's the princess. This is like this big conflict between who's going to be on the throne, who has the right to rule, etc., etc. And, you know, we're just caught in the middle of it, trying to make do with what we're given. What we're given isn't very good at the moment. So our whole task up until this point was to return Princess Ovelia to Lional Castle for safer keeping. And we're going to leave her in the hands of the church, specifically this guy, Cardinal Draclau. Because, I mean, the church has never done anything wrong in any JRPG, so it seems like a reasonable choice. Oh, and also we learned why there were so many bad people after Mustadio. And it's because he has what's on the table in front of us right now, which is a Zodiac Stone. Zodiac Stones are objects of immense power, according to Cardinal Draclau anyways. Agrius says that they were just myths and legends that they told kids. That they didn't have any real power, the Zodiac Braves were all made up, but according to Cardinal Draclau and apparently Mustadio, there's great power to be had in these stones.
Obviously, it has to be a lie.
Yeah, it must be a lie. It can't be real. Though. Anyways, Mustadio says he found Zodiac Stone in his hometown of Gog Machine City, and that's why they're after him. So, you know, that sucks for him. So we're gonna go to Gog Machine City ourselves to go check things out.
Oh yeah, I guess it's worth noting that usually in a speedrun of this, you would not save everywhere, just to get past green dots.
Just to
I
get
don't know
past
if you
green
mentioned
dots.
that.